Good morning, everyone. It's Amy with Mama Bear Blue, and it's Mondays with Mom, and I'm here with Mom Debbie. I'll say it this time.
Thank you.
So as you're popping on, be sure to give us a thumbs up and share the video out. We would really appreciate that. And we'll check the sound here in just a second. Okay. So I have a puppy right at my feet. Not a puppy, but Waylon. We are using Sweet Pickins Milk Paint today on some of our, I think that was thrifted, honestly. And then I have some candlesticks and some, do you guys remember, I don't know if you followed Jamie and Zeb, but a long time ago they cut these cutting boards in animal shapes. Isn't that cute? Mm-hmm. And there's a chicken, a pig, a cow, and a sheep. And later today, I'm going to have several of these on my website. I have been holding on to these thinking I was going to make all of them into projects about 4 years ago and didn't do it. But I am going to do this one today with you guys with milk paint, but then I'm going to list the rest. I have several in this pine, and then there are several in the MDF, which will be a little less expensive. But they're super cute. They'd be fun DIY projects, whether you make them into cutting boards or just decor. Mm-hmm. They'd be cute in kitchens. So I will put the links later today once we have those listed on my website, which is aimeemamabearblue.com. And we also, I'm going to take, these were Jamie and Zeb's candlesticks that they released at the same time, which I'm actually keeping these. But we find thrifted candlesticks all the time. We have several wooden ones that I've thrifted, and we're going to be using some milk paint on these. I think these would be cute as plant stands for little planters. Yeah. Because they're big as candlesticks. And you
keep
could.
Both of them?
I am.
Oh.
Were you wanting one?
No.
There might be another big one over there.
I'm teasing you.
So we'll do these two. But first we're going to start with the ones that are cutting boards, and we're going to walk you through the steps of how to make these food safe, because Sweet Pickins has, I've never used it before, on our lives, tung oil. And that tung oil or hemp oil are great on your projects and makes them food safe. Milk paint's already food safe. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. But the tung oil is super strong. It will actually, if you use it, put it on, let it dry, and use it again and again, you can build up a layer that hardens like resin.
Wow.
And it is food safe. So we'll get to that part. But I went ahead and mixed up Sweet Pickins Milk Paint in the color. So we've got Lantern, okay, which is a black. I don't know what the dogs did over there. It's okay. We'll get it later, Mom. Okay. Not a big deal. And Cobblestone is one of the newer ones they released through the Jamie Ray Vintage.
What's with the dog?
Okay. Creeping me out. Cobblestone, really pretty, neutral. I don't know I think I tore the tag off, but it's a kind of a neutral grayish brown, really pretty, kind of a putty color. And then I did mix up Creamy, which is one of my favorites too. I bet you like that one. I feel like we've used that on some of your projects before. Okay, so I went ahead and mixed up the colors, and all I did was add warm water to the powder, and I really just eyeball it. I don't measure anything out, and as long as it looks like a melted milkshake, they're good.
Okay.
He wasn't interested in that.
Never mind.
Something spilled, and the dogs are checking it out. Melted milkshake consistency is what you're going for if you want to just paint it on. Now you can thin this way down into a stain if you want to use more water. But and then I did add just a few drops, probably quarter teaspoon or less, of Extra Bond that Sweet Pickins sells, because I don't want these to be super chippy. So milk paint does that sometimes, and if you don't want it to chip, you can add some of the Extra Bond, which is what I did. And I think they're pretty much ready to go. Let's talk about your project, Mom. So this was a thrifted cutting board. We're going to be painting it in the Lantern, the black color. And then when that first coat is dry, I'm going to stamp with the IOD stamp called Le Courrier, which looks like a French newspaper.
Oh.
I'm going to stamp that onto there in white, so that'll be white over the black paint. And then when that's dry, hopefully during the live, we'll be putting the tung oil on it to seal it up. So then it will be finished. And what we'll do, we probably won't finish the other side so that people can use this as decor. on the one painted side, although they could, okay, you
See
can,
the flowers.
you can check it out. They're being bad today.
No.
So one side you could turn over and cut on and not worry about if you don't want to, hurt anything on the design on the other side. So that's the plan on Mom's. Now on mine, I'm going to use, so this is the sheep. All right, and I thought, I'm torn between creamy and cobblestone. I'm leaning towards cobblestone. I'm going to paint it with cobblestone and dry it. And then I'm going to distress it a little bit with some sandpaper. And then we're going to seal it up with the tung oil. Now, when you mix up your milk paint, you can probably one of the flat ones will work. When you mix up the milk paint, like I said, it needs to be melted milkshake consistency. But I just use a plastic fork like Jamie and Zeb do and mix it up. And most of there's a few little chunks left. Those don't really bother me. You can kind of sand those off. If you want this really, really, really mixed, you can use an immersion blender that you've like designated just for your milk paint projects. I do have that and I've used it before, but I'm pretty happy with just using the plastic fork to do that. So, all right.
Here we go.
Here we go. These are nice, heavy-duty pine boards. It just, 4 years they've been sitting there, and I keep thinking. So last night I'm like, today's the day.
Yes.
We're gonna do it. This is a pretty color. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry, like I said about those little chunks, I have them in here, and when this dries, those will just flake right off, and it will be fine. But I will tung oil both sides of this, whether I paint both sides or not. You can use it on bare wood as well. And I notice after you mix up your paint, if you let it sit for, probably 10 minutes, it thickens up a lot.
Yeah.
So you might start out thinking that and if it feels like it's too thick, Mom, we can add a few drops of this warm water. So sometimes you think, oh, that's too thin, but if you let it sit a minute, you'll see that it's fine.
I guess I'm gonna do these.
Yeah, and if you don't get if there's some white showing through, it actually looks nice, because the ink is going to be white on that, so. Hope you guys had a good weekend. It was beautiful weather here. My son, Travis, graduated from Purdue on Friday, so that was nice to see. It was a really good ceremony. And we had another open house for my nephew yesterday. It's that time. It's that season, right?
Right.
I'm going to get us some of the white papers here in a minute, Mom, because when we switch projects, we don't want to get it messed up. In a minute, whenever you have a second to grab those papers. I am going to paint the sides of this. Just leave the back undone.
I don't know, Aim. What do you think?
Yeah, that's good. I think, you're good. I think we'll take this dry brush. We might need to go wash it out after.
Okay.
And kind of unload your brush a lot and see if you can go over that once and get some of those higher spots out. See how it's kind of a little bit gloppy.
Unload?
Right. Well,
which one
just use this dry brush, because that one has so much paint on it. It's just going to keep adding paint. But you know what? See how it's a little more flat? It just had a lot on it. It just takes a long time to dry. And then I won't get to stamp it. And another tip on your milk paint, only mix up what you're going to use. Sometimes it's hard to know that, but I did mix up a lot of this, so I'm just going to have a paint party.
Yes.
And this this will only keep for a day.
So what else are we gonna paint?
And that's in the refrigerator because it really is made with milk powder. So I don't know. We'll have to. Well, I know that these are getting painted cobblestone. My big plant stand. I'm going to call them plant stands, but they're giant candlesticks. All right. Thank you. You're going to need it too.
Yeah, I'll let you go first.
All right. Okay. And then when you're ready for that one, whenever, I'll set it over here. All right. Okay, up. So I do have some on the back that's going to get sanded off eventually. I'm not that
If you need another
no,
one.
I got it. Yep.
I got extra.
Yeah, just a little bit on the back that will have to be sanded off. But so, what is this grit? 120. Probably. Let's see if that one. 120 might be a little rough for this. Yeah, a little bit. It was kind of looking like that, so I'm going to switch to the 220. Much better. And I'm just hitting the edges just to make this look a little smoothed out and kind of worn. But this color is really pretty.
It is pretty.
It's a taupey gray. If you're just joining us, we are using Sweet Pickins Milk Paint on some cutting boards, and the animal ones will be listed later on my website. And we're using milk paint, and then we're going to use some tongue oil. You guys can hear me. The Sweet Pickins tongue oil, which I also have now. Limited quantities, but I do have it, and I will have that listed this afternoon as well on the website. Tongue oil and hemp oil by Sweet Pickins are the two that will give you a food safe finish. And the milk paint is already food safe. It would be cute as a little cheese meat cracker tray, you know?
Yeah, that'd be cute.
I could take my orbital sander to it, but it'd be hard to do during the live. That's out in the garage. Little hand sander. A bit of an arm workout here. I like this thin because you can still kind of see the wood grain through this. See it? Right. Yeah, pretty. And with the, I haven't done this, but I've been told that you could actually decoupage on these, put transfers on these, and then put several layers of the tongue oil over it to seal it up. But you never want to immerse your cutting boards. You just want to wipe them down. It's pretty. All right. I love the finish. I love the smoothness of milk paint. It's just really soft and smooth. Let me get some of these paint flakes up. And then, while you're doing that, I might just go ahead and start on one of my candlestick / plant stands. And move this guy out of the way.
This has quite a few chunks on it.
Yeah, we can get it. You can turn it to high. So let's get some of the cobblestone. This is starting to thicken up a lot, so I'm just going to add just a little bit of water to that. Thin this out just a little bit. I don't know, it might be just enough paint to do both of these, and
There you go. You're done.
I really love this color. This might be one of my new go-tos for a
Mhm.
neutral.
Yeah.
Yep.
Screw it up.
I'm going to set this one aside and let it dry and get coat on this real quick. And then we'll get back to talking about tongue oil.
Okay.
Actually, will you hit that one with the heat gun again? The big one, so I can get, so it's really ready for me to stamp.
Yeah.
I'll do that next, and then we'll get to the tongue oil. I'm going to probably touch up my fingerprint marks.
I didn't do a very good job.
Mom.
I can't help it. I did.
Yeah, you did. It's fine. Okay, that soups. Such a pretty color. Okay. Here, I'm going to move these things to you. And then I'm going to put a fresh piece of paper down.
Who's here?
No, you really... I don't want that one.
Here. This.
Here.
Right here.
I'll get it, but I want to set this down first.
Okay.
There we go.
You've really done a job on that.
I have. I'm not the no. Oh, I thought no. I'm not the cleanest crafter. I'm really not. I'm so messy.
Are you gonna?
I don't. Yes. Hold on.
Why are you
Guys, I
hand
can't.
gestures?
I don't know. I don't want to give any hand gestures. Facebook's coming up with new ideas all the time. I'm not impressed. So let me get some sandpaper for this before we get the stamp on there. Is it stuck? Just put another one on it.
Well,
Just move this there. And then we're going to have to get some more working paper thing. Here we go.
Plenty down there.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, you've got plenty behind you. Okay. So I'm just going to smooth this down a little bit, hit the edges, and then get that stamp on. The Le Courier stamp by IOD. So this was just thrifted. I have a feeling it originally came from Hobby Lobby. I've seen these before there. Then we'll get a stamp on there. Maybe one more round of paper towel. Use dry paper towel, not wet, or you're going to reactivate your paint. So, this is Le Courier. It's the French newspaper. It's just one big sheet. And I meant to ink this, or I meant to put the white ink on this before we started, and I did not.
We're going to have to start making lists.
We're gonna have to start early just for all the prep. Yeah. So I'm just gonna put a little bit. I don't want to glop it up too big because it's not gonna have time to soak in. But I use a little nozzle to kind of work the ink in. And of course, when you buy the IOD ink pad, then that's and what color, whatever color you give it is that designated color. So
they come with no color.
Right, they come white, and then you just don't want to once you make it like black, you don't want to do anything else, of course. All right, so let's see what we can do here. And I just want it to be kind of subtle. I don't need it like totally readable, kind of faded. just a little spot at the top. Okay, let's give it a go. I'm going to stand up to get a better view. See where we're ending and starting here. I want it to be, I don't want it to be, I want it to be lined up. And once it's down, it's committed, and that's the end of that. Okay, got it. So now with one hand, I'm just going to hold it still and then press down, making sure everything that I've inked up is touching the surface. And peek at it. Oh, that's really cool. I like it. Okay. Ready for the reveal?
Oh, wow.
Isn't that neat?
That is so cool.
I know. Okay. Love it. All right, we're gonna let this dry, and yeah, I don't want to rush the tongue oil on this, so we might just let this be for a while till this is good and dry. Because the ink takes longer to dry than paint for sure. So I'm not going to rush it, but this will get hemp oil. But I'm going to show you how to use tongue oil. But I'm going to show you how to use that on the sheep, and then we'll do the same thing to this. And then I'll make sure the back is all sanded down. That one might be staying here. Use that same stamp on the sheep, but
will it show up?
It'll show up, but the sheep is kind of long for that. So
do you have a different stamp?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I have a million stamps, but I don't know. I think we might just leave it like this. All right, let me get this with a little bit of sandpaper that doesn't have black paint on it. All right, now with the tongue oil, you can use it straight, just plain, or you can tint it a little bit. And I think what I'm going to do as I mix up this, I'm going to tint it with just a little bit of the lantern. So when he didn't, that makes me wonder what's up. Okay, so the tongue oil comes in this little sample size, and then it also comes in a pint. And then I bought the quart for me. So on their website, though, there'll be the pints and the sample sizes. So I've already opened this, and I'm going to, you can use gloves with this if you want. You don't have to. I am good with not, but you do want to dispose of your rags properly after you use this. It's food safe, and it is safe. It's pure tongue oil. But they always say any oil, waxes, or anything like that you use, you should dispose of. Like in a baggie tied up, or in a metal can, something like that. So just read the directions on the tongue oil can. Lantern. What did we do with lantern? Oh, here, right in front of me. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this in and mix it in just to tint this a little bit. So it's kind of like a wipe-on stain. Some more. And I'm going to mix it up with the fork. Did I say hemp oil? Look, I keep saying hemp oil. It's tongue oil. I don't know. Did I say that? You don't know either, right?
I don't know what you said, because I was really concentrating.
All right, and then we're going to use a paper towel, fold it up. At the very end, I'll wipe everything off with a soft t-shirt to buff it up, but all right. Okay. You can hear us talking on there.
A little bit.
So then I'm just going to dip it in there and wipe it on, okay? And then as I wipe it off, it's going to not be quite as dark as I buff it up. And you can let this dry in between coats, like I said, and it'll turn into like a hardened surface like resin. You could brush it on too if you wanted. That's a pretty color too. Just darkened it up a little bit. I had to see what it would look like.
I like it.
I do too. Once I buff it up, it'll be a little lighter yet. And I'm going to set it aside till this is completely dry and hit it again. So that is cobblestone with the tung oil that's been tinted with lantern. Very pretty. I don't think this is dry enough yet. I can kind of tell on these words at the top that the ink is not dry. So I'm not forcing that, but I'm going to do the same thing with pure hemp oil, not tinted, on that. And that will be food safe. And then these, I probably on these will just use some beeswax or clear wax, I think.
Yeah.
These, of course, don't need to be made food safe.
Right.
But this will get sanded, and I might go ahead and right now hit this with the cobblestone one more time. There might, sometimes when we do that with the second coat of milk paint, you can sometimes get your chippiness. I think what I'll do too on that second black cutting board is stamp it as well. That's the one there. If you guys are watching on the replay, be sure to let us know. And if you're just joining us now, you can go back and watch from the beginning to know how to use this milk paint and the tung oil. And we'll get some good pictures later this week.
Yeah, put that on my list.
Yeah, once we get all these. It makes me happy though to know that I'm getting through my projects that I've wanted to do for a long time.
Get some drips.
Yes, I do. Catch your drips. Okay. And this. Ooh, 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 ooh. That's not the right thing. I do that a lot. It's like when you stick it in your coffee cup. Your paintbrush into your coffee cup. I've done that before. All right. All right. Got it. All right. So I'll let these dry, give them a good sand, and then get some clear wax on here. You need a second coat eventually, so we'll just let those dry. Oh, do you want to hand me? You're really the drip catcher today.
Well, I can catch your drip like it.
What we'll do on this one, I'm going to actually use the Courier, the same stamp that I used on the black one. And are you catching more drips?
No, you were
on this one.
Apron in it. Let me take care of you.
Yeah. On this one, and then this will end up with hemp oil as well. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. I have no clue what's going on with Facebook, but hopefully you guys can watch on the replay if it wasn't working. Guys, we will be back in 2 weeks since we have next Monday off for Memorial Day, and be sure to check the Facebook page for the finished projects. We'll take some good pictures of them then. So, thanks for joining us, guys. Bye.